Well, on that subject of inflation, 40-year highs in America, remember, spare a thought about some of the scenes we showed you yesterday from Shanghai. The frustrations caused by the lockdown of the city and its 25 million people, well, it was pretty plain to see. But it's not just Shanghai, but also surrounding areas that house some of the world's biggest manufacturers. This in turn raises the prospect that we're only just seeing the beginning of price inflation and supply chain pressures around the world. Joining me from Hong Kong, Ligang Liu, the head of APAC economic analysis at Citi Private Bank. Ligang, always good to have you on the program. Many thanks for your time. Can you just tell me one small thing about this? I recognise that right now those lockdowns are going to cause not only economic pressures inside China, but potentially they are going to become global pressures in due course as well.
Yeah, I think it is possible, given Shanghai is a quite important financial transport center for China, and it is about 3.8% of China's GDP. Shanghai port is the world busiest one. Basically every year, transshipping around 10% of China's export to the rest of the world. So if the lockdown were to continue, indeed, that will lead to quite a serious economic slowdown in China. We heard that at this moment, the Chinese port, not only in Shanghai and also nearby Ningbo port, has been fully functional. And I hope this spillover effect will still be manageable at this stage.
Just tell me, because I know that there was a lockdown at Shenzhen as well. Now, that obviously had big implications just across the border from Hong Kong. Again, big manufacturing enterprises are there. That seems to have now reopened to a certain extent. Is that the understanding that you're seeing as well?
Yes, the Shenzhen lockdown was quite brief, was only around 5 days. If you look at the recent Chinese export trend, it has been slowing given the weaker global demand. So that port lockdown did not seem to have a big problem. But Shanghai port is much bigger, and the current lockdown period is longer. So we should expect a bigger impact on the global economy.
Okay, there's one thing that comes to my mind, at least anyway, and that is around the world, when economies have come out of these lockdowns, there tends to be significant stimulus to try and restart those economies. That means that even though there might be question marks about economic growth in China and the world right now, and even supply chains and inflation, the reality is that once these lockdowns end, there is likely to be significant spending and catch-up in that economy as well.
Yeah, I think this is the silver lining. We have been talking to our clients as well. That is, given China has a 5.5% GDP growth target, at this moment, this protracted lockdown has made that kind of growth target difficult to achieve. So if the government is still serious about 5.5% for this year, the government will have to put out or step up of fiscal and monetary policy stimulus. Indeed, if they were to do more, it could be a good news, not only for China's asset price, but also to the rest of the world.
I'll tell you what, great to have you in the program today from Hong Kong, Ligang Liu, who is the head of the APAC economic analysis at Citi Private Bank. Many thanks for your time.